Good day, fellow teachers. I'm Sir Oliver and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I made this video to share with all of you what's in the self-learning module in Mathematics 8. So ito yung gagamitin natin sa opening ng teaching and learning activities probably on August 24 kasi most of the learning modalities na pinili sa konteksto ng eskwelahan ay yung printed modules or yung Modular Distance Learning. So para malaman natin ano ba yung nilalaman ng isang SLM. So itong SLM na to ay MELC-Based or Most Essential Learning Competency. So ang pinagbasihan dito yung pivot for a budget of 4. So wherein pinili lamang yung mga most essential na learning competency out of dun sa competencies na meron tayo doon sa curriculum guide ng DepEd. And then, it is ADM or Alternative Delivery Mode, which means non-traditional education program recognized by the Department of Education, which applies a flexible learning philosophy and a curricular delivery program that includes non-formal and informal sources of knowledge and skills. So itong SLM na rin to ay makakatulong sa ating mga teachers to prepare our lesson exemplar, a weekly home learning plan, at assessment tool na gagamitin ng ating mga students para meron silang guide sa kanilang homeschooling or pagsasagot sa kanilang bahay with the help of parents, guardians, or housemates. So I would like to give disclaimer before I start my video. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1967. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. So I would like to give credits to the owner of this module. So ang focus natin sa video na ito ay mag-walk through or tignan ng mga parts ng isang SLM, yung cover page, the development and management team, the table of contents, the idea process, the content itself, and the assessment part. So I would like to acknowledge then or to congratulate those people behind this SLM. So dun sa development and management team, yung mga writers, mga illustrators, evaluators. Dahil hindi po madali ang kanilang trabaho because it takes month para makabuo sila ng isang module na gagamitin ng lahat ng students natin as well as ng mga teachers ngayong darating na pasukan. Kasi most probably, ang learning modality na preferred ng mga students natin ay Modular Distance Learning wherein gagamit sila ng mga printed modules na i-distribute ng bawat schools sa kanilang mga students. Yun. So kaya naman, still waiting pa rin tayo sa ibabang prescribed modules na ipiprint ng bawat schools at gagamitin. So titingnan natin dito kung ano ba yung sinasabing idea process na gagamitin natin sa lesson exemplar, anong klase ng assessment part, pre-test, and post-test para alam natin kung ano pang assessment tool ang ibibigay natin. So ang ipapakita ko sa inyong sample ay self-learning modules in Mathematics 8 because I'm also a Mathematics 8 teacher at ito yung ginamit ko basis sa paggawa ng weekly home learning plan, exemplar, at assessment tool. But most likely, ganito rin yung parts ng ibang modules sa iba't ibang subject at grade level. Magkakaiba lang ng content or learning competency. So, ang pinagbasihan ng mga lesson ay yung pivot for a budget of work. So, wherein ang Mathematics 8 ay merong 10 MELCs. This is good for the 10 weeks for the first quarter. Yan. At kung mapapansin nyo, merong 12 modules. Diba dapat 10 modules lang compiled. Example, module pertains to lesson. Example, module 1, factoring polynomials. Kasi merong MELC na masyadong mahaba. Kaya sineparate siya into 2 modules. Just like the factoring polynomials, ang module 1 at module 2 ay factoring polynomials kasi medyo mahaba yung lesson na factoring polynomials. For itong 12 modules na to compiled into one module. At ito yung gagamitin ng mga students sa darating na pasukan. So, ito yung cover page. Ayan. So, cover page nakalagay dito ay Mathematics Quarter 1, Module 1, Factoring Polynomials. Ayan, makikita niyo sa baba yung logo. Logo ng division, and then the ADM logo, all the alternative delivery mode. Ayan, so napakasimple lang ng cover page ng mga modules. It is like our learning materials before na ginagamit natin. Pero ngayon ay bagong edition na since pinili lang yung mga most essential learning competencies na isasama sa module. And then, etong page na to ay yung copyright page wherein napakahalaga ding basahin to para ma-utilize or magamit ng maayos yung module because it is government property, hindi siya pwedeng ibenta at kailangan this is educational for educational purposes only and this is non-profiting. And then nakalagay din dito yung development and management team of this module. Nakalagay daan yung mga writers, illustrators, etc. So, ito yung table of contents. Mapapansin nyo, Roman numbers 1 to 9. You have here the cover page, the copyright page, the title page, the table of contents, what this module is about, what I need to know, how to learn from this module, icons of this module, and then what I know. And then sa bawat lesson, ito yung makikita nyong parts. Meron siyang what I need to know, what's new, what is it, what's more, what I have learned, what I can do. Most probably we teachers are familiar with these parts kasi siya ay something in line with our lesson exemplar. Probably dun sa idea process wherein ganito yung mga questions. So, from the prior knowledge, paano magbi-build up yung new knowledge sa mga students and paano nila ma-apply yun sa real life. Ayan, so you have different sets of activities from the introduction up to the assimilation phase. So, of course, meron siyang iba't ibang titles sa bawat activities. And then, lastly, you have the summary. You have the assessment for the pre-test and post-test. So, anong kayang klaseng pre-test and post-test yung binigay dito? And then, lagi siya merong key to answers. The students will be the one to check their work and their references. So, ano ba yung naging basis ng content ng module? So, ngayon ay magkakaroon na tayo ng walkthrough doon sa SLM. Ipapakita ko sa inyo ano ba yung content or ano ba yung mga parts ng isang SLM. So, itong ipapakita ko ay isang buong SLM. So, look, Mathematics, ayan, 8, Module 1, Factoring Polynomials, and I really appreciate the illustration. So, kung sino man yung illustrator nito, congratulations. I highly appreciate the illustration being used in this module. Pero probably pag finotocopy to, black and white lang. Pero the content, so kung ano yung message or naisipahiwatig ng drawing na yan, so that is related with the competency. And then, ito yung pinaka-copyright page na kailangan nyo ding basahin at i-consider sa yung Republic Act 8293 Section 176 states that no copyright shall subsist in any work of the government of the Philippines. However, prior approval of the government agency or office wherein the work is created shall be necessary for exploitation of such work for profit. Ayan. So, eto naman po yung mga tao sa likod, talaga, mga tao sa likod ng module na ito, yung development team of the module. You have the writer, reviewers, illustrator, and layout artists. management team, yung chairperson, co-chairperson members, they are all expert. They really exerted too much effort in the creation of this self-learning module for a couple of months. Talagang we're still waiting kasi. Lalo na sa division namin, we're still waiting for the modules, prescribed modules to be utilized and used ng division or ng district nyo. And then, nakalagay dito sa third page, yung these instructional materials was collaboratively developed and reviewed by select teachers, school heads, public schools, district supervisors, and education program supervisors of the Department of Education. Ito kasing example ay from Gingoog City Division, Region 9. So, ginamit ko lang siya as example, but most likely, ganito rin naman yung itsura ng ibabang modules ng bawat division. So, credit po sa may-ari ng modules na to, ililink ko na lang din sa description box. So, no copyright infringement intended. I would like to share kung ano po yung nilalaman ng isang modules. Ayan, but most probably ma-ensure natin dito yung quality kasi ay nag-undergo siya ng review and revision for how many times. So, sobrang daming revision yung ginawa din. Ayan. And then yung fourth page ay blank lang yan. And you have here the table of contents na pinakita ko kanina. And yung what this module is about, what I need to know, how to learn from this module. Meron din siyang icons. What I know is very important because students will be guided. Most especially kapag nahihirapan silang mag-aral mag-isa with the help of their parents, guardians, or housemates. Itong pages, Roman numbers 1 to 9, ay makakatulong to guide the parents. No, to guide the parents para maturuan nila yung kanilang anak kung paano sasagutan yung module. And then, ito ay lesson 1 to 3 kasi yung lesson 4 and 5 as what I've told you ay nasa module 2 kasi mahaba yung factoring polynomials. So, yung lesson 1 ay factoring common monomial factor. So, ang mga parts na is what I need to know, what's new, what is it, ayan, what I have learned, what I can do. You have the summary, the assessment, the key to answer, and the references being used in this module. So, what this module is about, basahin natin. Factoring is an important process that helps us understand more about our equations. Through factoring, we rewrite our polynomials in simpler form, and when we apply the principles of factoring to equations, we yield a lot of useful information. So it is from Google 2019. In this module, you will learn how to factor equations in different methods and how factoring allows you to solve real-life problems. So, most probably, may encounter nila dito yung pagkuha naman ng factors kabaliktaran nung lesson nung grade 7. Before, they need to multiply. Ngayon naman, they need to get the factors. And then, i-connect to sa real life. And then, eto yung so what I need to know. Ayan, nakalagay dito. At the end of this module, you should be able to ayan, yung one factor completely different types of polynomials A, B, C at ito ay makukuha sa pivot for a budget of work. Nakalagay doon yung learning competency. Tapos, kailangan din i-include dito yung learning codes from the curriculum guide prescribed by the Department of Education. Ayan, so ito yung kanyang learning codes at ito yung kailangang malaman ng mga students at the end of the module. And then, how to learn from this module, nakalagay dito, to achieve the objectives cited above, you are to do the following. Ito daw yung mga kailangan gawin. 1. Carefully read all the lessons. 2. Take your time to go through each lesson. 3. Answer the pretest honestly. The purpose of the pretest is for you to determine your prior knowledge before going through the lessons and activities. 4. If you have a hard time understanding the lessons and activities, please do take a break. Having breaks between lessons and activities will give you some space where you can absorb the lesson well. 5. You can use the internet if you need more information about the lesson. So, may advantage talaga if you have the access in the internet because lalo na kapag mga math lesson, they need to watch tutorials. Yun ngang tayo ay nagtuturo with our direct instruction, nahihirapan pa yung mga students natin. So, they need to be guided in answering mga math practice problems or problem sets. At malaking matutulong dito yung mga video tutorials, yung mga Taglish version or Made Easy tutorials para mas ma-guided sila or para mas makasabay sila sa pagsasagot ng mga problems na nire-require. Pero tignan natin mamaya sa module, anong klase bang concept notes ang naka-include or paano ginawa yung pinaka-abstraction or yung lesson ng certain module or topic. And then, ito na yung icons na ginamit. Ayan, what I need to know. So, this part contains learning objectives that are set for you to learn as you go along the module. Again, yung what I need to know, it is based from the most essential learning competency. And then, what I know, this an assessment as to your level of knowledge to the subject matter at hand. Meant especially to gauge prior related knowledge. So, ito yung pre-assessment para malaman yung prior knowledge ng students. What's in? This part connects previous lesson with that of the current one. So, there must be connection or yung from the review or yung sa mga past lessons or yung mga lesson nung kayo ay grade 7 pa, i-connect lang yan with the new lessons. What's new? An introduction of the new lessons through various activities before it will be presented to you. So, mamaya makikita natin ano ba yung iba't ibang klase ng activities. And then, what is it? So, these are discussions of the activities as a way to deepen your discovery and understanding of the concept. What's more? These are follow-up activities that are intended for you to practice further in order to master the competencies. So, mastery of the competencies is very important, especially in Mathematics 8. Kasi kung mapapansin, ang mga lessons sa math ay magkakarugtong. From factoring, magiging rational expression involving the operations. Kung wala na silang mastery ng factoring polynomials, most probably mahirapan sila sa susunod na module. Kaya kailangan nila magkaroon ng mastery and of course, skills. Because skills is a talent na rin, no, in solving. Kailangan they need to solve it is an accuracy. What I have learned, activities assigned to process what you have learned from the lesson. And then what I can do, so these are tests are designed to showcase your skills and knowledge gained. Ayan, and apply it into real life concerns and situations. So, ito yung sa assimilation part, merong application or problem solving part ng mga learning. So, those are the icons na gagamitin sa module so that you will be guided answering it. So, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong what I know na pre-test or pre-assessment. So, ang pre-assessment dito ay multiple choice question. So, read and answer the questions below and circle the letter of the correct answer from the given choices. So, 2 points each. So, 5 items. So, most probably, itong mga items na to ay umiikot doon sa what I need to know, yun sa ating learning competency na ABC, yung sa tatlong factoring methods. And then, yung true or false naman sa set 2 or yung sa part 2, write true if the statement is true, otherwise write false. So, 5 items din yung sasagutan. Ayan. So, ito yung sa tatlong factoring methods. Take note, the common monomial factor, the difference of two squares, and sum and difference of two cubes. Again, sa ating pre-assessment, multiple choice and true or false. So, ito na yung pinaka-lesson. Ayan, nakalagay dito, what I need to know, yung meaning lang ng factoring, And then the factoring common monomial factor, yung terminologies. Ayan. What do you mean by CMF? What do you mean by factor? And then what do you mean by monomial? Okay. So since alam na yung meaning ng tatlo, what's new is about finding common. So ito yung parang nag-establish ka na ng lesson. It's somewhat your motivation. So the directions, write in box A the common objects found in pictures 1 and 2, and in box B are not common in both pictures. So para ma-establish yung lesson na common monomial factors, so what do they have in common? Ayan. Then after that, ma-establish what is it? So activity 2, multiply me, factor me. So yung A is finding the products, and then yung B naman ay yung finding the factors. Example, yung x times x is x squared. Y times y is y squared. 3 times 4 is 12. So yun naman sa finding the factors, kabaliktaran naman. Given naman yung product, hanapin mo yung factors. Then out of that, merong mga guide questions na sasagutan. Yan. So, tignan yung title, multiply me, factor me. Then, what's more? So, ito yung finding the factors of polynomials. So, study the illustrative examples of how factoring by common monomial factor is being done. So, that's a very important part kasi students will be learning from this one. So, kung mapapansin nyo, 2-column table yung ginawa wherein nandun yung steps at nandun yung solution. So, ito yung systematic way of presenting examples because sometimes in our classroom setup, when we teach the lesson, probably hindi na natin nilalagay yung steps. Kung paano natin siya ituro at kung paano mas madadalian yung ating mga students. Pero with this one, talagang they really exerted too much effort in writing the lessons wherein talagang naka-indicate yung steps and solution wherein talagang masusundan ng mga students kung paano ginawa or paano nag-come up doon sa answers or paano makuha yung mga factored form. Kung mapapansin nyo, steps A to N. Something like that. So, sobrang haba ng steps na naka-indicate dito and students must read it carefully at intindihan yung mga step-by-step process. Okay, nakita na how the lessons presented. Ayan, so another example, ganun din, pinakita din yung steps and then pinakita yung pinaka answers. Ayan. So you have the steps and you have the solution. So, ang hirap kapag naglagay ka ng step-by-step process. Pero dito talaga ay malinaw na inaipakita. And then, what I have learned, you have the generalization by answering the guide questions given. And then, what I can do, you can be a writer. So, this is the time that you need to write each expression in factored form. So, ngayon, once na-establish na yung lesson and then nalaman mo na kung paano mag-multiply, kung paano makuha yung factors, and then nakita na yung step by step kung paano siya sinolve, it's your time to give the factored form. Yan. So, makakapagsulat ka na or makakapagsagot ka na. So, ito naman sa lesson 2, somewhat similar lang naman siya about the difference of two squares. Ayan, same parts lang din. So, yung establishing is familiarizing squares and square roots because that is very important in special products. You have to be familiar with the special product, yung mga square roots. Ayan, dapat alam mo. Yung mga perfect square numbers. And ito naman yung mga similarities and differences. Ayan, what I can do, yung pair and pair. So, ganun din naman sa sum and difference of two cubes, hindi ko na ipapakita. So, dito naman ay kailangan familiar ka doon sa perfect cube numbers, of course. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, ay step by step din yung mga examples. And then, you have here the summary. So now you have already completed this module. Let's summarize what you have learned. This module taught you to factor different products through the use of different patterns and rules. Factoring techniques that you had learned were, so yung una yung factoring by CMF, the common monomial factor. Yung pangalawa naman is difference of two squares, and yung pangatlo ay sum and difference of two cubes. You had learned that in factoring difference of two squares, you need to find the square roots of each square, and in factoring sum or difference of two cubes, you need to master in finding the roots of the cubes. Yon. So it is important talaga to know or to identify correctly the special products involved para ma-apply yung correct patterns and formulas. And then yung assessment process, kung mapapansin, kailangan ay parallel din dun sa pre-assessment na binigay, but different sets of questions. So meron din siyang multiple choice pero ibang sets of questions na 5 items din, katulad ng pre-test, at yung part 2 test ay yung true or false question din na 5 items. So kailangan pag nagbigay tayo ng pre-test at post-test, kailangan ay somewhat parallel siya para malaman natin if nag-improve ba or meron bang learning. So, most probably, para makita yung significant difference, kailangan ay tumaas yung score or nag-improve. Most likely. So, ito yung true or false na 5 items. Yan. And then, of course, key to answers. So, they are the one to check their work. Ayan, so nakabaliktad yung answers. Most probably, questionable pa din yung honesty. But we will not question that, no? Kung sila ba ay nagsagot ng tapat or hindi. But we always teach them that honesty is the best policy. That's why, as teachers, we need to prepare another sets of assessment tool. So, yun naman yung ating gagradean. Again, so pwede natin itong i-record as a basis of their performance. It will be recorded but not graded. So, ang ating gagradean ay yung mga assessment tool na ibibigay natin sa kanila. Ayan. So, ano yung assessment tool? So, pwede siyang performance-based, pwede siyang learning activity sheets na related doon sa lesson. Yan. So, ito lahat ng answers doon sa lahat ng activities, and you have here the references, and that will be the last part of the self-learning module. So that's all for our video, fellow teachers. So I hope na nagkaroon ka ng idea at nalaman mo kung ano ba yung nilalaman ng isang SLM, at kita nyo naman kung gaano siya ka-quality at kompleto yung mga parts at madali siyang maunawaan. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.